Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Manny, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to get started with the ESP32. Essentially, you're just going to follow along with me on this video, and I'm going to show you how to get started. So, I recommend going over to this page here, found on Canvas. So, it's going to give you a bunch of resources that you can go through on different ESP32 topics. So I recommend going over to these two links here that show you how to install VS Code and the Git extension. These are going to be very important throughout the semester, especially with VS Code, since it's a pretty powerful code editor. Yeah, I use it a lot in industry and for all my other projects. Essentially, it's very well organized. I'm sure most of you have used it before, but if you haven't, I recommend installing it fully and also the Git extension. So yeah, essentially what you're going to want to do first is take your ESP32, place it on a breadboard, and for this demonstration, you can either actually, I would just recommend plugging it in using USB. I'm going to connect it in here, and then what we're going to want to do is just bridge these two pins, RX and TX. Depending if you have this model or not, you might have to refer to the data sheet and make sure you're bridging the two RX and TX pins specified here. If you have a different ESP32 board, the pin layout might be a bit different. But yeah. Next thing you're going to want to do is hop on over to VS Code, and we're going to go ahead and clone this repository here. So let me open up VS Code, Visual Studio Code actually, and yeah, we're brought over onto this welcome page. So what we can do now is hit clone git repository and clone from GitHub. So it wants us to place the URL for the GitHub repository. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over to this website here, and notice how there's two files here, main.py, pymaker.conf. So we're going to hit this green button here and then copy this URL. And let's go back over to VS Code. Clone git repository, and then we're going to fill in the URL here and hit enter, and we're going to select a destination for the repository. So I recommend creating like a projects folder for this class, which I did here. It's over on my C drive. You can save it onto your OneDrive, your any other drive that you want. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder, and we're going to name this EGR314 lab getting started. Whoops, that is not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do is to create a new folder, and we're going to name this EGR, whoops, 314. We're going to name it lab getting ESP32. Awesome. And we're going to select this folder that we just created as our repository destination. And click, and then it's going to bring up this window here. It says, would you like to open the clone repository? Hit open. Yeah. So that folder that we just created is now open, and we have these two files that that were located in this GitHub repository have now just transferred over to your VS Code repository. So that's just one of the handy tools that Git extension provides. So essentially, you're opening a folder with the power of Git commands. So Git commands are something that you can do if you open up a terminal. You can know exactly which branch you're on and make commits directly from the terminal, but this is perfectly fine. So what we're going to want to do next is activate a PyMaker project. So notice how I have this tab here. You're probably noticing on your own VS Code that you do not have this tab present. So what we're going to want to do is enable this tab. So we're going to go over here to extensions, click that, and then we're going to type in PyMaker. Notice how there's two. We're going to want to go ahead and open the one with 5 stars. So notice how this one has 2 stars. This guy here is 5 stars. So we're going to download PyMaker preview. Yeah, and then you're going to hit install. It's going to install the extension, and then you should see an icon here, PyMaker. Yeah, so this is a pretty useful tool for integrating Python, I should say MicroPython scripts on over into the ESP32. So yeah, let's go back over to our project here and select this tab here. So we have a tab down here that says that is linked to our project, which is this here. So we're going to go ahead and add a device. And the device we want to select is the ESP32 that we have plugged in. So it's going to be this one linked over into COM10. So we're going to click this box, hit OK, and I think we should be good to go. Oh yeah, you're going to want to hit this icon here that says Connect Device, and our ESP32 should be linked. So what we want to do next is create a terminal, and here's the output terminal for our ESP32 currently. And if we go over to main.py, here's the project that we want to upload. So right now I believe the ESP32 is running a program, so if we hit Control-C, notice how a few text displays onto the terminal here. So now we know that it's ready to sync over. So every time you want to sync over a new program, you're going to have to hit Control-C and make sure that nothing is being displayed. And right now my ESP32 is not running any programs, so we're going to go ahead and hit this icon here, which displays sync project device. That'll essentially just take this folder structure and upload it to the ESP32. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Awesome. So oh yeah, so now that the project is synced, we're going to have to go ahead and reset it, and it should run the program. So you're going to go over to these 3 dots here, and then there's a option to hard reset the device. So once you do that, notice how we have some text on the terminal. So that's all based on the program here. I think the program mentioned something. Yeah, type something to hit enter, you can see on the terminal that we have that same text, so we know that it's working with this code. And it says type something and hit enter. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Hello world. Whoops, I actually forgot to bridge my RX and TX, so it's not displaying anything. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so I was able to bridge my RX and TX together. So if I type in hello world, notice how the terminal spits that text that I entered back over onto the terminal, character by character. So it says hello world. So that's how you know that this program is working. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control C, which should stop the entire program entirely. Okay, notice how nothing is being displayed at the moment. One pretty cool and neat thing about this is that you're able to type in commands directly from the terminal itself. So if you hit print, I'm forgetting my Python here. I believe it's like this. Notice how the terminal spits that command here. So this is essentially a way that you can print certain things onto the terminal without having to have it scripted. But yeah, if I want to go ahead and reset my program, you're going to go down here, click these three dots, and then hit hard reset, and it should restart the program for you. Yeah, so next step you want to do is essentially make a blinking program. So there's a few ways that you can go about this. I would recommend creating a new folder within this folder and then naming it blinking LED, and then creating a new PyMaker project within that folder, and it's going to go ahead and create this dot configuration. Or you can just modify this main.py here with the code found on this link here. Yeah, so what you're going to want to do is just copy paste, and before you upload the code to the ESP32, I recommend saving this first, because it's going to want to upload the previous program that's saved. So you're going to have to save each change you make onto this main.py. So we hit File, Save All, and now we should be ready to sync the project. Oh, before you do that, you have to stop this project, which is Control C, and yeah, essentially go through that process again. Sync the project, and then we're gonna hard reset. Okay, now over on my ESP32, I have a blinking LED. And that should be sufficient enough for each of the individual checkoffs for the lab. Another cool thing you can do is, if you look over onto the ESP32 itself, there is a push button that's labeled EN, I believe, for enable. If you go ahead and push that, it resets the program automatically for you. So I'm going to keep clicking that. Notice how my terminal keeps modifying a new program. I shouldn't say new program, it's the same program but just restarted. So yeah, that's essentially everything for getting started with the ESP32.